The controversy raging over Army Chief General V.K. Singh's age has thrown up a peculiar situation. Despite the Army's protest, the Defence Ministry has ruled that General Singh's date of birth is 1950, a move that will deny an Army Chief an extra 10 months in office. But there seems to be more here than meets the eye. Is this a well-orchestrated move to get rid of a man who has placed tough and transparent measures to clean up the system? Is the lobby that he targeted working against him? What's the real story here? Is there a breakdown in communication between the government and the army at a level like this? Which army of this size would not have a clear succession plan? Why is this controversy surfaced at the last minute? Joining us on the debate tonight is General P.N. Hoon, who's the ex-GOC in C of the Western Command, joining us from Chandigarh. General Shankar Prasad, former DG, Military Operations, and Maruf Raza, Strategic Affairs expert. General Hoon, what's this going on? Where do you stand on it? Should the Army Chief go in and file a statutory complaint right now? Will that be breaking discipline and setting the wrong precedent? What's your take?
Aruna, firstly, I feel that this controversy has started about 6 months ago. Now, I know VK very well. He was my G2 Ops when I was Director General Military Operations. He's a very fine officer. But I do not know as to whether I would agree with you that the government wants to keep him on and some people want to see him out. No, the question doesn't arise. I feel that every Chief of the Army Staff who takes over this wonderful Indian Army of ours is fit to function to the hilt, whether it's in operations or whether it is in manpower or whether it is in his personal honesty and integrity. Now, as far as VK is concerned, I think that this controversy has been dragging. There's no reason why, when he was the successor to the Chief of Army Staff from Southern Command, whether this age was not taken into consideration. Certainly it was taken into consideration. That's how he became the Chief of Army Staff. And now rigging up a controversy in which the Chief of Army Staff has to put in a statutory complaint. I think it's obnoxious and it is bad in the eyes of the whole nation. Okay. A Chief of Army Staff has no right to put in this statutory complaint. It is just not done. And I feel that his age, as has been shown in his matriculation certificate, which is August, I think, 1950, must stand. Otherwise, you're going to upset the whole chain of the changeover that's going to take place, which is going to be bad for the country.
General, on the one side is a question of fact. What is his date of birth? On the other side is the question of procedure, which you have used a strong word. I want Maruf to respond. You say it's obnoxious that a statutory complaint like this is made. It breaks certain set protocol. Maruf, would you please respond, please? What's your take?
Arnab, with due respects to General Hoon, I think he's got his facts wrong. The first thing is that as far as any person is concerned in uniform, he is allowed by law to make a statutory complaint, particularly when his integrity is being questioned. In this case, it is not General V.K. Singh's matriculation certificate which is under question, which under the eyes of the law establishes his true age, which is in 1951, May 1951, 10th of May. But it is a form that was filled in by at the time when he was applying through the UPSC to join NDA, when he was a minor, and articles and forms that are filled in by people who are minors don't stand scrutiny in the court of law unless they can be backed with legal documents which the government of India recognizes. If you and I were to fill in a form to say we were born in XYZ year, do you think we'd get a license or a passport on the basis of that? No. We get it on the basis of a date of birth certificate or a matriculation certificate. More importantly, in the case of General V.K. Singh, he has been contesting this for many, many years, since actually at least 2006 when it was brought to his notice when he was GOC 2 Corps. All along he was told it will be resolved. Worse still, it is the Military Secretary's branch which has gone ahead and informed the Ministry of Defence, hold it on up, the Military Secretary's branch has no business to inform the Ministry of Defence on an officer's date of birth. It is the prerogative of the Adjutant General's branch,
Maruf.
and the Adjutant General branch was never consulted. He all along maintained that the officer's date of birth is 1951. So I think it's a matter of shame that the Ministry of Defence and the Law Ministry are going by inaccurate documents based on some wrong
Okay, I'm going to
assertion
let
made at the
General
time
Hoon
of this
respond to you in full
predecessor.
measure. I'm
No,
going
one
to let
sec,
General
Arnab,
Hoon
there's
respond to you in
an
full
important
measure,
point.
which I'm sure he will.
Arnab, one sec.
One sec, Maruf.
Arnab, at the time of Arnab, hold it. At the time
No.
of General Deepak Kapoor, this matter was rigged up again.
Yes.
Because Deepak Kapoor was with his back against the wall after VK Singh had ordered a court of inquiry in the Sukna
There,
scam,
see, now we are
which
getting
embarrassed DK Kapoor and his lackey, General Avdesh, who is the one who wrote the letter to the Ministry
So
of
that
Defence
you are saying
when
this.
it was not his job to
Okay,
do so.
Maruf.
There is a whole
Now
string of activities
we've
which
thrown
are
the can of
inaccurate.
worms open then. Then we throw the can of worms open. Some people will say it's unrelated. Everyone's got strong views on it. If the Adjutant General's branch clearly puts the date of birth as 10th May 1951, I don't know what the whole controversy is about. But that's not the question General Hoon has raised. General Hoon, I'll give you a chance to respond. I'm just going to Shankar Prasad and coming back to you. That's not the point that he's
Yeah.
raised, you see, Maruf.
Okay.
The age issue is not just about facts. Is it, General Shankar Prasad? The question that General Hoon says, it's about propriety. Is the army's respect compromised with this controversy service?
See, Arnab, we must understand that every person, including General VK Singh, has a right to complain and get justice from the government. To that extent, he's put in a statutory complaint, which is very much within his rights to do. Now, it is for the government to examine all the documents that are in their possession, whether it's from Military Secretary's branch or for the Adjutant General's branch. All the documents have to be studied by the Ministry of Defence and take a decision. Whatever decision the Ministry of Defence takes, the Chief of the Army Staff has to accept it. If he thinks that the decision given by the Ministry of Defence is incorrect and injustice has been done to him, then he has the option of taking the recourse of going to a civilian legal course where we can go and contest his case in a court of law. Now that's a matter where propriety comes in. We in the army for a very long time have been telling all our officers that it's not a good idea to go to court.
Here's a question.
So therefore, we must accept
Sir.
what the government decides.
Sir,
Now, if
here's
the
a
government
question.
has got certain facts.
Here's a question
just
for
one
both of
minute.
you.
If the government has got certain facts, Arnab, the government has to take a decision. Based on his statutory complaint, we do not know what decision
Sure,
the government is
sure, it
going to
doesn't.
take. If the date of birth in his matriculation
No, the government is
certificate
not
is
1
given
minute,
at
Maruf.
61, his
The
date of
government
birth
is
in
not-
1 minute, Maruf.
if the date of birth in the
No, date of birth.
Arnab, let me complete,
I
please.
think they are getting
Arnab, let me
into
complete.
unnecessary mess on this.
No, Arnab, let's get it very clear.
General Hoon is saying you're dragging this into an unnecessary mess. He's saying with all the...
not at all.
Absolutely, I agree with you. We have to go with the decision of the government. At the end of it, if the Chief of the Army Staff feels injustice is done to him, then on the time when he leaves the service, he must go to a civil court, fight his case and prove the government wrong. And if that happens and the government is wrong, he should then say grave injustice has been done to VK Singh,
Maruf
grave
is shaking
injustice has
his
been
head.
done to the office of the Chief of the Army Staff,
not
and I
at all.
think he will be
Not at all.
skyrocketing in his image.
Yes, briefly. No, skyrocketing in his image, but this man is saying, 1 minute, this man is saying, what is General VK Singh saying? He's saying, I have risen to the rank of Lieutenant General appearing before several promotion boards, all of which accepted May 1951 as my date of birth. The boards which cleared my promotion from Brigadier to Major General to Lieutenant General were endorsed by the Prime Minister of India himself. The Prime Minister of India endorsed this date. So if the contention, General Hoon, take this question. If the contention of the Military Secretary's branch is now that is not the date
Why
of
is
birth,
the
1 minute,
government not
1 minute,
contesting it?
then all his promotions are also
I
illegal.
want to interject at this time.
Yes, General Hoon, go on.
I want to interject at this time. It is not a question of putting in something. The Chief of the Army Staff has an image. He's been chosen by the government after a lot of deliberation, seeing his past and what is his performance. At this time, a Chief of the Army Staff puts in a statutory complaint through the Adjutant General's branch and he contests his own age. I think there cannot be a bigger mistake that has been committed, and Personally, I would request General VK to put in his resignation if he feels so strongly, because Maruf also, I don't know why Maruf is so strong about it. I don't know whether he is a lawyer. I know he is a very fine person, but in this case, I will not be agreeing with him at all, because it's making a joke of the Indian Army, which I think has never happened before in the history since the Indian Army was formed in partition. I'm sorry,
No, Honor, may I
I'm
respond?
actually viewing it. No, you will respond, but let me finish this.